And now, you're tuned into RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
What is going on, RBLR Bucs fam? Welcome back to another episode, another week, another chance to talk ball with the best community out there. If you're rocking with us live or catching the replay, we're glad you're here. Seriously, this is where the passion lives, where the takes fly, and where Buccaneers football stays front and center. For those who don't know me, my name is Musa, one of your co-hosts tonight, and it is always a pleasure to be here rocking with y'all. And folks, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit of a kind of bittersweet moment right now. You know, we only have one more weekend of professional football left. The Super Bowl is here, you know, one final Sunday before the NFL season signs off. So if you're watching this right now, jump in the comments. Who you got? Seahawks, Patriots, neither, both? I don't know. Drop your pick, drop your predictions, and while you're at it, let us know, you know, your thoughts, your concerns, all of it. All right. This show is just as much as yours as it is ours. All right. So here's the good news, though, and this is important. There is no off season at RBLR. So while the NFL might slow down, you know, season of the interns, we don't. All right, we're still out here covering Tampa Bay sports or Tampa Bay football year round. Shout out to the rest of the RBLR crew covering Tampa Bay sports year round as well, you know, bringing you content, conversation, community every single step of the way. So before we get rolling, like I said earlier, a quick reminder to all our listeners, please stay involved tonight. Let us know how we're feeling overall. What's on your mind? What do you agree with? What do you not? You know, last week we talked about, you know, all RBLR second team. So this week we're going to talk about the first team, maybe touch up on some things, you know, going around the league, you know, some award storylines, you know, the whole deal. So, you know, this show is never a one-man show. I got to introduce the squad. First up, to my right, he brings that pure Tampa Bay Buccaneers energy, the passion, the insight, never backs down from a take. Mr. Zach Blaine. How are you, my friend?
Oh, you know, I've been better, brother. I just got done with the NBA trade deadline. Miami stayed pat and didn't do a damn thing. The only team in the East to not make a single trade. Really fun. It just seems to be that my choice of professional teams is really coming back to bite me in the ass this week. This season, I should say. But other than that, man, been good. Trying to stay warm. We had a bunch of snow this week, so how about you, man?
Yeah, man, it's been brutal up north overall. Can't tell you how many times I sit in my car and I see, you know, the sunny, you know, Florida air, and I just thank myself that I don't live up north. So it's a great time to be down here in Florida.
I regret leaving.
Even if it has been a little bit cold, I just remind myself it can always be worse. So yeah. So I'm glad, you know, you're doing well. I'm glad, you know, you and the fam are, you know, all cozy and all that and safe from, you know, whatever the cold has to give. Dude, I honestly hate the cold so much.
I can't stand it, dude.
Started. Yeah, I turn into like an unproductive like pudge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know the meme that everyone always shares when it's like fall time and you got like the girls in their scarves with their pumpkin spice. That's what I turn into when it gets cold. I hate it so much.
Yeah, but let's see if we have a lover or a hater when it comes to winter. The final puzzle piece of this iconic trio. The voice of reason, Mr. Carter Brantley. I want to ask, I guess, two questions. First of all, how are you? And second, do you also hate winters?
I am going to be the lone dissenter. I love the cold. I love it so much. I love waking up in the morning on the weekend and like it being cold in my house. And then I'm like, wow, I'm not leaving bed.
Oh, Lord, no, dude. I wake up every morning in the cold and I'm dropping like an F-bomb or something.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah.
I definitely feel you. Once I get out of bed, that's a very different story. But I just sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just sleep so much more soundly during the winter because it's just like I'm never warm. I'm never hot because like when I get hot and I'm sleeping, I like wake up and I'm like, yuck, like I don't like this. But no, when I get out of bed, I'm like, oh wow, this kind of sucks a little bit. But I get to wear my house shoes. Like I have these like fuzzy little house shoes that I wear around the house, and I can't really justify wearing them during the summer because it's too hot. But so I guess I'm a winter lover. Plus, it's basketball season, and like that's always pretty fun too. I'm sorry the Heat didn't do anything, Zach. I thought they were making.
Is it fun? It doesn't seem very much fun for me. All right.
At least they didn't get Ja. I feel like if they traded for Ja Morant,
I wanted Ja. I'll be honest with you.
Wow.
Off the court issue that got him suspended. There's more, but
he's not healthy either. Like he doesn't.
Have you seen the Miami Heat?
But then they're going to be paying him like $40-50 million. Anyways, this isn't an NBA show, but we should have an NBA show. Sometimes we could talk about that because that's a whole nother discussion. But
you heard it here, Eureka. We need
that's right, Eureka. You got to hit up our producer. I know he's a big Nuggets fan, and it's always a good time to talk basketball when you're a Nuggets fan.
Patreon.
That's right. We'll start a Patreon for the basketball show. But regardless, this is a Bucs show, so we're going to talk some football. And I want to start with the NFL awards. We won't go through all of them and list them out. You can look them up if you want to know who won what. I did want to ask if there were any surprises. Musab, were there any guys that won any awards that kind of made you raise your eyebrow a bit, as you would maybe say?
No, not at all. I think they were all well deserved. Not surprised, to be honest. I don't know. What about y'all?
I was very pleasantly not surprised, but I was very pleased. I was pleasantly surprised that there weren't any like major like kind of gaffes from the voters, because there were some weird nonsense with the MVP stuff. Someone's already we'll get into that in a second. But my main thing was the offensive player of the year. I was a little surprised they didn't give it to Puka, to be quite honest. I was pleasantly surprised though, because I thought JSN was equally deserving, if not more so. But everyone else, it was kind of chalk, like Myles Garrett, Christian McCaffrey for defensive and comeback players, and then T-Mac and Schwessinger. They were all good. Not really anyone that really jumped out to me. But Zach, maybe you disagree. Was there anyone that really made you kind of question what you were thinking?
I don't want to say no, but like realistically, I would have given offensive player of the year to Puka.
Sure, and that's valid.
But again, it was a close race in my opinion. So like it wasn't like a huge shocker.
Right.
But I personally thought Puka should have gotten it over JSN. But one of them's in the Super Bowl, one of them's not. So as much as it's not supposed to go off that, I mean, I think it kind of, to me,
I don't know. I think the voting's even done before the playoffs, but I don't know.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well,
I don't know that for sure, though. I don't know.
I could be way wrong.
I know the MVP voting is. I don't know about the rest of the awards.
Yeah. The other thing, the Hall of Fame is more so what kind of surprised me, if I'm being – I know it wasn't necessarily NFL honors stuff, but it is an NFL honor. And,
no, but yeah.
Robert Kraft not getting in and Belichick not getting in on first ballot. Meanwhile, Luke Kuechly, who played like 4 whole seasons, is in.
We're hating on Luke Kuechly.
I love Luke Kuechly. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
But it was such a short career, man. Like he retired in his 20s, dude.
It's tough.
Longevity has to play a role in it. Like I get that you were a stud and you were a beast, but that surprised me that he got in, and Belichick and Kraft, as much as I'm not a Patriots fan, didn't get in. Yeah, I'm sour too that Luke Kuechly got in. It's okay.
Oh man,
I think it was just a slap in the face for the Belichick situation. I mean, I feel like
it's weird.
There was some. I heard. I forgot who it was, but there was some kind of talks going on that those were part of the voting committee or the Hall of Fame committee. I think there was like one guy. I'm forgetting who it was, but he like.
Is it Bill Polian or whatever?
Oh yeah, you started.
Yeah. Even I think Jimmy Johnson came out and was like, "We even tried it." Like,
He even quote tweeted some random like highlight of a Texans kicker like making a field goal, and to make the funniest thing ever, it was like, Jimmy Johnson, do you know how to use Twitter? And it's like, oh well, probably not. But yeah, I didn't get it either. The NFL has always like separated off the field stuff, like who the person is as a person and who the player is. Like they don't have the weird character clause that the Baseball Hall of Fame does, which that gets into a whole other conversation about that. I guess their point would be that the cheating stuff happened on the field, I guess, but even that, it's kind of I don't know.
The practice field. not the field.
they were recording the Jets on the real field, so like
fair.
But no, I get what you're saying though. I'm surprised that he didn't get in first ballot either. I don't like him, so I wouldn't have voted for him either, just out of spite, because like the dude seems like a jerk. But
and that's why you're not a voter,
right? Exactly. I shouldn't be a voter, right? Like, so
But I do have a Hall of Fame question for you guys.
Oh, okay, I love it.
One of the guys that didn't get in this year, Frank Gore. Do you guys think he makes Hall of Fame? Me and my buddies in playing PlayStation have had some conversations about it, and I have a very strong opinion, and I just want to know where your guys' head is at on him.
Musab, I'll let you go first because I've got a lot more to say than I would like to. So go for it.
Yeah, no, I think so. Absolutely. I think it's, as you were saying with the whole Luke, Kuechly situation, this guy's the opposite. Talk about longevity. Right. And I think he's like up, I think top 3 or something, like, overall rushing yards. So, no, peak. I remember, when I knew about peak Frank Gore, dude, he was an animal, dude.
Yeah. That's the thing that I think he should have got in first ballot. Like, I'm not going to disagree with that too much. It does bring up an interesting conversation of like peak versus longevity, and like the whole, like, people call Matthew, like some of my friends call Matthew Stafford Matthew Stat Padford, because like, and like, that seems kind of harsh, but it's also kind of a funny nickname, so who cares? But yeah, I don't know. It's a really interesting discussion. I would have voted for him. I would have let him in just because, like, 3rd all time in rushing. Like, how do you not? But at the same time, like, the argument of like, well, maybe he should be in, but maybe not a first ballot. I could kind of see that a little bit, but even that seems kind of silly. I don't really get into the like, oh, is he a first ballot guy, or like, is he in or not? Like, I don't really care about the what year a guy gets in. Like, it's just, does he get in?
Yeah, for him, it's not really the whole kind of like if he's gonna get in. It's really
right. And that's what kind of makes me kind of weirded out about the Belichick thing, is that Belichick's going to get in eventually. So like, man, who cares if he's first ballot or not? Just let him in. Like, I don't know. If you're going to let a guy in, let a guy in. If you're not, then don't. And I feel the same way about a lot of the baseball stuff too. It's Hall of Fame discussion can get a little kind of weird.
I pay zero attention to the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame, because I think it's a joke. Honestly, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, there's the Baseball Hall of Fame. I can't stand it, but Frank Gore should be in the Hall of Fame 100%. And I'm glad that we all have the same opinions, because some of the guys I was talking to last night were like, no, I don't think he should get in. Like, what did he really do? I'm like, he's top 5 all-time rushing. Like, he's a top 5. While he may not have the big seasons that other people have, like, he was one of the most consistent running backs of our time.
Yeah,
4.3 career yards.
Well, he was also, I'm pretty sure he was part of the all-decade team as well.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, 16,000 rushing yards. Like, the dude he was a stud for one of the most underrated running backs, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's tough because I do agree that he wasn't necessarily the best running back, or even necessarily top 3 during any particular individual season. But at the same time, he was very, very good for a very, very long time. So that's why he should be let in. But yeah, I understand that argument. I don't necessarily see it as a compelling enough argument to be used against him to disallow him from being in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I think that I bring this up because I think that this is Frank Gore is the Mike Evans of running backs.
Or the Eli Manning of running backs.
Running backs. Like,
a similar thing.
He's always been really, really good, but never been the top 1 or 2 receiver in the NFL his entire career.
Yeah, and that's a great point for any Bucs fans that maybe feel that Frank Gore doesn't deserve to be in. Like, hey, do you think Mike Evans deserves to be in? Because if you do, then you kind of got to let both of them in, type of thing. So yeah, it's a really fascinating discussion, and frankly, I don't know that I have a good answer to it, but yeah, I think Frank Gore deserves to be in, but then again, like I said earlier, I don't have a vote, and I probably shouldn't have a vote, frankly. So, it's all good. But yeah, I love the Hall of Fame talk. Larry Fitzgerald got in, and Larry Fitzgerald, not that much less of a a stat pad, quote unquote, if you want to label it that way. Like, he was kind of an accumulator as well. So I don't know. Like I'm kind of surprised that Larry did get in and Frank didn't, because you could kind of use that same argument against Frank Gore that you could against Larry Fitzgerald. But I think both of them should be in. Like neither are compelling enough. But anyways, so yeah, some really interesting Hall of Fame discussion there. Anything else you want to touch on before we move on to our All Pro discussion?
I think I'm good.
Think you're good, Mr. Treek. We're all set.
I think I'm
We're
good.
good, Hazel?
All right. Well, let's move on to the first team
All set,
offense of the all RBLR team. That's what we're going to call it. Because hey, it's kind of fun. The quarterback position, I think we covered it pretty well the last week. I went with Drake May because of the EPA stuff, their expected points added, but I also it's 1A, 1B. Like I know y'all went with Stafford for this one, and that's perfectly fine. Like Stafford won MVP, and that's fine. Like I'm not really too jazzed about it either way. But someone did vote for Justin Herbert for MVP, so I guess one of us could have picked
Trevor Lawrence too.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence! Oh my goodness! Wow,
He finished fifth in voting.
Wow.
He finished fifth. There you go. Yeah, it's weird, but yeah. So the quarterback, we went Drake May or Matthew Stafford. I went with May. Y'all went Stafford, and then running back, kind of a similar thing. I went with Jonathan Taylor, and y'all went with Bijan Robinson. So Zach, I know you touched on it a little bit last week as to why. Because you were switched, right? You had Bijan.
Yeah, I had Bijan's second team, and then I switched it, which for future first teams, I also have another one that I moved up to the first team that we talked about last week.
Okay.
But I've got Bijan first team, 1,478 yards, 7 touchdowns, just receiving or just rushing.
Just running. Sure.
And then you had 820 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns receiving. Like he was the heart and soul of that Falcons team that had a surprising almost comeback at the end of the season. I think that yeah,
that's okay.
And, you want to say hi real quick?
She likes Bijan Robinson too.
You like Bijan Robinson?
Yeah, she thinks Bijan Robinson's great.
Yeah, say go Bucs. But yeah, so I just think that he was kind of the heart and soul of that team, and I think that he put him on his back, and that's the results you get. I think that deserves first team.
Yeah, it's very similar for me. They're both like Taylor and Robinson. They're excellent. They're really, really elite. They both had outstanding seasons. Either one of them is deserving of this top spot. Mr. Treek, any thoughts on the running back position from Taylor or Bijan?
No, I'm right there with Zach when it comes to Bijan Robinson. I mean, the guy just did it all, dude. He also led the league and like missed tackles. So just an absolute dog. You know what I'm saying? He could do it all.
Yeah. I gotta admit, y'all are making a compelling case. I might change my mind. Maybe Bijan's first team for me as well. I don't know. I'm pretty half and half. They could really go either way. But
it was just a fall off in the second half for Jonathan Taylor after the Daniel Jones injury.
Yeah, and it's so hard for me because like I don't want to pin that on him. I don't want to necessarily pin his quarterback going down and having to deal with Riley Leonard and Phillip Rivers as your starting quarterback, and suffering because you put Bijan Robinson in that situation, he probably suffers too. But at the same time, it's the all-pro team. It's not the all hypothetical what could have happened team. So I kind of go back and forth on it. It's a hard thing to evaluate, but they're both deserving. They both had excellent seasons, which brings us to the wide receiver position. We have a little bit of disagreement, but not too much. But all three of us have Puka and JSN on here. We just had that discussion about the offensive player of the year. They're both pretty much either 1 or 2 on all the major receiving categories. But Zach Blaine, you had George Pickens as your third wide receiver, I guess you could call him.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily he would be wide receiver 3. He wouldn't be wide receiver 1 or 2, but I didn't necessarily order him. But 93 receptions, 1,429 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns. I believe he was third in touchdowns, third in yards, and he may have been fourth in yards. But he had 22 20-plus yard catches. And that was second in the league. On significantly less catches than the other 2 guys on my list. So I think that he showed that big play that I put Jameson Williams in for, or Jameson Williamson. No, Williams. Yeah. Last week. And I just think that he really kind of rejuvenated or reinvented himself this season compared to where he was seasons before.
Yeah, no, Pickens had an insane season, and he's going to get paid, and deservedly so. And him and I picked Jamar Chase as my third wide receiver, but him and Chase, the margins are so narrow when we have these conversations because Chase had an excellent season too. He was really outstanding. But Pickens, my goodness, you can't really argue with some of those numbers. It's he was tough out there, and he was playing with Dak Prescott in a pretty good offense. But Jamar Chase had a subpar quarterback play, but at the same time, like that's it's tough. They were 3-4, and their separation in receiving yards was 17. So it's marginal, and they both just had really tremendous seasons. They had 9 and 8 touchdowns respectively, like really, really close. But Mr. Tariq, you had Jamar Chase as well. What made you go with him over George Pickens or anyone else?
Yeah, man, I believe I had Pickens on my second team. I mean, I think this was kind of a 3-4 situation as well. But
Sure.
I mean, Jamar Chase, just again, another baller season. He was top 5 and receiving yards and touchdowns. But I think the big thing for me is, I mean, he always seemed like a deep threat, or deep ball threat. And I think he was up there, I think, if not like number 1 when it came to, 20+ yard receptions. So yeah, that's why I have to go. I'm gonna go Jamar Chase on that, but you really can't go wrong on either of them. I'll probably say this is where I think it's probably like top 4 afterwards. I don't know who would be that, immediate 5th guy from the top of my head. Plenty of names, but
I mean, we had
it was really a battle between 1st, 2nd, and then 3rd and 4th.
Right. Yeah. The 5th guy, there's definitely a gap between the 4th spot and the 5th spot for me as well for the wide receiver position. I'm right there with you. And this is a really competitive position group. The receiver spot was definitely one of the more highly contested for that last spot for sure. So really interesting conversations, really interesting thought processes behind.
Jamar Chase was 15th for 20+ yard catches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he only had. Where's he at? I just saw.
Appreciate you checking up on me on that, man.
Well, because I was just curious, because I was like, dang, if he was really first, then I got to put him up there.
Right.
But yeah, he had 15. First place was Puka and Jackson Smith. They both had 27. Jamison Williams was 23, and then George Pickens was 22.
Yeah,
and Puka was up there in the top 5 with 20.
Hey, big plays waiting to happen for sure. So this is a really competitive list, and there were some big play threats across this list for sure. And Puka and JSN, that's kind of the big takeaway for me, was that those 2 guys were just so dominant this year.
100%.
But moving on to the tight end position, we're unanimous. Kind of boring. Trey McBride. What else can you really say? He was kind of by far and away the best tight end in the NFL this year. There were some other good tight ends, don't get me wrong. And we talked about them last week as well. But Trey McBride, man, he was kind of the class of, he was the class of the tight end position. He was really good. So Mr. Blaine, anything you wanted to add about Trey McBride, or we're unanimous, so we can kind of move on?
Yeah, I'd say it's an easy one to move on from. And that's not a negative thing. He was just so above and beyond the best tight end in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was the only guy to crack 1,000 receiving yards. He was kind of the main target of that Cardinals offense. Like, I know Marvin Harrison Jr. had a pretty, okay season, but Trey McBride was kind of, he was a tight end, but he was wide receiver 1 as well. Maybe not the best blocker, maybe not quite the blocker that a guy like George Kittle is, but he ain't out there to block. He's out there to catch some dang passes. So, Trey McBride, man, he had a heck of a season, and things are only looking up for him, especially if they can figure out the quarterback position, because he was dealing with some tough ones in Jacoby Brissett, and Kyler Murray played a little bit at the beginning of the season, I think, but it was mostly the Jacoby Brissett show for the rest of the season. So, if they can figure that out, I think Trey McBride could be even better, which is really crazy to say, because he was really outstanding this year. But now moving on to the offensive line spots, these are the only. I'm kind of the only one that cares about these spots, just because I think it's fun. Garrett Bowles at left tackle. He's from the Denver Broncos. He was the best left tackle in the NFL this year, kind of hands down in my mind. Wasn't really a whole lot of competition here. Like, there's definitely a very clear delineation between him and the 2nd, 3rd, etc. spots. Joe Thuney, he actually won Protector of the Year, and he is the left guard on our first team, because he was also really, really good. A big reason why the Bears were so good offensively this past season. And he, came from Kansas City, and Kansas City felt his loss as well. Like, I'm not saying Joe Thuney was the only reason Kansas City missed the playoffs and Chicago made the playoffs, but he at least is one of the reasons. At center, going back to Kansas City, Creed Humphreys, he's been the best center in football for a while now. And a little Bucs connection, they missed him by 2 picks. He was 2 picks away.
I remember. I think you actually had him on a mock.
Yes, I did, Musab.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
I remember that. I remember I had Zach Frazier, and yeah, you had Creed Humphrey.
Oh man, yeah, it was depressing. I was hoping so much, either him or Dickerson, and Dickerson's been great too, but Humphreys has
Or maybe that
been,
was another year.
yeah, he has been that dude at the center position for pretty much his entire career. So, yeah, a bit of a bummer that he's not on the Bucs, but he's still a great player. Right guard, I've got Quinn Miners. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. My apologies to our producer Eureka Wheeler for if that's a mispronunciation, but he's also from Denver. Another big reason why that offense was at least as solid as it was. When you have two guys that are playing at the level that Quinn and Garrett Bowles were this past season, it makes things a lot easier for everyone involved. Bo Nix, the play calling, Sean Payton, the receivers getting open. They both had such superlative seasons. They were both really, really good. And right tackle, Penei Sewell, he's been there for a while. Like he's kind of been the class of that position as well. So yeah, some fun names to talk about at the offensive line position. And if you're looking for the Penei Sewell of your wardrobe, if you're looking to upgrade your wardrobe in a big way, giving yourself maybe the Joe Tooney for your own outfits, definitely head to shop.rblrsports.com. We've got you covered for everything Tampa Bay sports related. We'll give you a promo code as well. That's Cannon, CANNONS. Type it in, get 10% off your entire order. You can see all the Tampa Bay gear. We've got you covered. We've got the first team all pro of the gear, and that's all the gimmicks I have for the advertisement. But anyways, yeah, definitely head there, check it out. We'd really appreciate it. So now moving on to the defense, and we're going to start at the most important position, or one of the most important positions, the edge rushers, Will Anderson and Myles Garrett. Those are the two names. Those are the two guys that we had. Mr. Tariq, did you have any thoughts on those two guys, or just, hey, these guys are awesome?
Dude, I mean, first of all, Myles Garrett is the absolute biggest lock on this first team, probably. I mean, record setting with 23 sacks. Just, I mean, he was unstoppable. And then Will Anderson, yeah, I mean, he was again the one of the main reasons why that Texans defense was so scary.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, just both of them absolute just beasts out there.
Yeah, man, him and Daniil Hunter, man, they were both just so outstanding this year. Yeah, so Anderson and Garrett were unanimous in that regard. But Mr. Blaine, did you have anyone that maybe just missed this team, or maybe some guys that you could have swapped in or out for Will Anderson? I'm assuming we're not swapping out Myles Garrett at this spot.
No. Myles Garrett broke records this year. I think, in my opinion, you break a career or a single season record, that automatically puts you up there, in my opinion. If it's a good record to have, I should say.
Right.
I don't know. It was tough because you had guys like, I think Aiden Hutchinson or Micah Parsons missed my list. Yeah, I don't know. It was a close race between like 5 or 6 people, in my opinion. And then once it got to there, it was just like, after that, it was a pretty steep fall off to me. But up until then, like those top 6, I think any of them could have been, outside of Myles Garrett, any of them could have been first team. Like Myles Garrett's the only one that's locked in my opinion, right there.
Right. No, I'm with you. Yeah, that 2 through 5 or 6 range is real squishy in terms of like where you put them. It's sort of a, pick whoever you want type of thing. And I would understand. But yeah, Will Anderson, man, there's something to be said about being on like the best defense in the NFL. And I think that'll come up for me at least a little bit later in a couple of positions where we have actually a little bit of disagreement, where it'll get a little bit more interesting, because this next position also unanimous. Jeffrey Simmons and Leonard Williams are the 2 interior defensive linemen that we chose for the first team. Jeffrey Simmons he has taken that next step into being like the best interior defensive lineman in football. I did not struggle with him at all. I struggled a little bit with Leonard Williams versus some other guys, but it was really, for me, the Leonard Williams. He was on the Seahawks defense. They were really good, really excellent against the run. And, I don't know. Leonard Williams was great. Jeffrey Simmons was on another level, though. Like him and Myles Garrett, he didn't have the season that Myles Garrett did, but in similar fashion, I think that, Jeffrey Simmons was fully locked. Like, yeah. So anyways, any guys that missed your list, Mr. Blaine? Any guys that you think, oh, maybe I could have let him on?
It kind of the same thing as before. Like, I could have put Vita Vea here, not on first team, but on second team, and bump somebody else up. But on my first team list, I think Jeffrey Simmons, like you touched on, Myles Garrett, very clear and obvious number 1. Number 2, I think it was more so recency biasy. Like, recency bias. Like, what have you done for me lately? Like the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl. That's what they're doing. And unlike the NFL, we do our voting after the season. So,
there you go.
That played a role in it. I'm not going to lie to you. But what was his name in Denver? Is it Zach Allen?
Yeah, Zach Allen. Yeah.
Zach Allen is a guy that I think should have been up there. I get him and Bo Allen mixed up.
Right. That's easy to do.
Zach Allen should have been up there or could have been up there. Vita Vea could have been on one of the two lists. That's one of two Bucs that I think could have made any list this season. So I think I'm pretty happy with who we got at 1 and 2, though.
Yeah, I am too. So yeah, that's the interior defensive line spot for the first team. And now we're going to get to probably the one with the most disagreements here. Other than we'll get to safety as well. We have a little bit of disagreement there too, but coverage or inside linebacker, whatever you want to call it. I had Devin Bush, who just took like this kind of massive leap out of nowhere. Like he was a first round pick, and that was kind of his thing, like that kind of got him jobs, was like, oh, he's a former first rounder. Oh, he's a former first rounder. He never really lived up to those expectations. But this year he did. Top 2 in coverage PFF grades and top 10 in run amongst linebackers. He was really outstanding this season. He had a really, really great year. And then I had Azeez Al-Shaair from the Texans. I know that he was surrounded by elite talent in Houston, but he himself was also quite good. They had really good players across the board. We'll include another Texan on the corner list as well. But yeah, Azeez Al-Shaair was really the one where I could have gone a bunch of different ways. Like Jack Campbell was really elite too, Devin Lloyd. But Devin Bush for me was pretty solid. Like, oh, wow, this guy had a really, really great season. So those are my two guys. But Zach Blaine, who are your two coverage linebackers?
Jordan Brooks.
Oh, okay.
I know there was a lot of talk of Tampa potentially trading for him at the trade deadline. And I think we should have. I think he would have helped so much, and he was on such a cheap contract. I don't want to call it the Zach Bond he wasn't that good on Zach Bond's cheap contract to the Eagles, but he played so good in Miami, and in my opinion, probably one of maybe 2 relevant pieces in Miami all season. He finished second in the league in tackles, had 4 sacks as a coverage inside linebacker guy. I don't think he missed a game all season. Like, he was just everywhere he needed to be, and he played great football. And then my second one, this is the one where I said I'm going to have a repeat from my second team. Doing more research into first team, doing more research in the first team. Jack Campbell was the only linebacker that graded 90 or higher per PFF with 400 or more snaps played. The only one that graded higher than Jack Campbell was Fred Warner on a significantly smaller sample size. I think that says something, and he was not – we talked about it last week. He's not the greatest in pass coverage, but he played good enough and is probably the best run-defending inside linebacker, if not top 2. Yeah. I think that he deserves a first team, and that's why he's on my first team RBLR or first RBLR ballot, whatever we want to call it.
For sure. No, Jack Campbell was very close to making my first team. He was on my second, and him and Al-Shaair were very, very close. I love Jack Campbell. Shout out. Jordan Brooks is a tough one. He had so many tackles, and he was so great in run defense. He was outstanding. And he'll be a name to watch maybe in the offseason. Maybe he gets traded. I don't know, because Miami's definitely
not to Tampa, so I'm not watching.
Well, fair enough, I guess. But he's one of those guys like where, does Miami really need like an inside linebacker? Like, is that a valuable thing to the Miami Dolphins right now, or is it a draft pick? And a draft pick is more valuable than Jordan Brooks is right now because they are so far away from being a good team. But we'll see. We'll monitor that for sure. And Mr. Treek, who were your 2 inside linebackers on the first team?
Yeah, I'm with Zach on the Jordan Brooks and Jack Campbell. I remember we were talking about Jordan Brooks, last year as well as a potential, trade target, and would have been nice, but of course, I just got to say, as you said already, Carter, with the whole kind of Dolphins situation, it's, it always breaks your heart to see such a great defender on such a poverty franchise. And, it's so funny how, we see two great defenders like Carson Swessinger and, Myles Garrett as well. So,
Yeah.
for them, it kind of helps them stand out. And that's, for me, that's what, happened with Jordan Brooks. I mean, guys got absolute speed, just beast out there. He is probably, really, if anything, holding it down for Miami. And then Jack Campbell, I mean, just, he could just do it all. And I mean, Zach, I wasn't aware about the whole PFF situation. That's pretty nuts, pretty beastly. I mean, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna, let the PFF, kind of nerds and all that, really knock down all the specific data, because that's impressive, dude. It really is. He's the only one. So
the only one other than Fred Warner, but he was the only one,
right,
with 400 plus snaps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Fred Warner, if he would have stayed healthy, he would have replaced. But unfortunately, he didn't.
I think it would have been, if Fred Warner was healthy, it would have been Fred Warner and Jack Campbell for first team.
Yeah, it's interesting. The linebacker spot was kind of an interesting position because Jack Campbell was really, really outstanding, and there's a lot of solid players. I don't know that there's nearly the high end talent that there is at other positions.
Agreed.
But there's still some very good players at this spot. Which brings us to outside corner. And then I believe we might be unanimous here, but I'll get y'all's thoughts on it. Derek Stingley Jr. and Patrick Surtain. I think these guys were either top 2 or top 3 in our little top 10 segment that we did in the offseason. It's pretty much the same. They're both top 10 in snaps per target and snaps per reception as well. They're just, they're the guys, Stingley and Patrick Surtain. They're both part of some really outstanding defenses. Big reasons why that was the case. I was really on board with this. But Mr. Treek, did you have anyone different or anyone that might have just missed your list for the outside corner spot?
No, I'm going there right there with you, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Sauce Gardner was someone that kind of jumped out for me. Zach, if he wouldn't have gotten hurt,
that was, as soon as you came over to me, that was what I was going to say. Sauce Gardner was going to be up there. Had he stayed healthy, I think he had, I may have to fact check it, but I believe he had the number 1 lockdown rate in the NFL before getting hurt. Even with him getting hurt, he almost made my list. I'll be honest with you. But again, the sample size with Fred Warner not being like, if I don't put Fred Warner on my team, who am I to put Sauce Gardner? And then another one who almost made my list, either first team or second team, was Christian Gonzalez. I think he played really, really well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I loved Christian. He had a great year too, and he's part of that outstanding Patriots defense that's, going to be in the Super Bowl. So, there's a lot of fun names on this cornerback list for sure. So, some really outstanding stuff. And Sauce, man, hopefully he's able to bounce back. Hopefully he's able to get healthy because, he's a fun watch out there. But, unfortunately went down with that injury. And it really, as much as the Daniel Jones injury really derailed Indianapolis this season, like Sauce's injury was also a big factor, and it was tough. We'll see. But the nickel spot is the next one that we've got. And we were unanimous here, I believe. Cooper DeJean. What more can you say? He was really, really good. He played most of the season, part of a really great Eagles defense. Was one of the best corners in terms of PFF coverage grade. One of the best nickel corners, I should say. Was constantly lining up in the slot. And he was so good in the nickel that now there's discussions of him maybe bumping outside because maybe they need him out there instead. But I don't know. I'd love for him to stay there because I think nickel spot can be just as valuable as an outside corner. Maybe not just as, but the way he plays it, he can be just as valuable as a pretty good outside corner. So, really good player. Zach Blaine, anyone that just missed this spot or anyone else that you wanted to shout out here?
For me, it was a clear cut spot. 63.8 completion percentage when he was targeted, 12 pass breakups. And I believe you touched on it, led all slot guys in coverage grade at 79 per PFF. So the dude was just kind of a lockdown in the slot. And so much respect for him. And just, God, I wish we would have gotten him because we had a chance at him too.
Yeah, man, it's tough. Can't win them all, I guess. But his would have been a nice one to win for sure. Mr. Treek, any other thoughts on the nickel spot or anyone else that we might have missed?
No, man, it's got to be Cooper for me as well, man. Kid was doing it all in the nickel position.
Yeah, man, he got involved in the run game. He was great in coverage as well. So there really wasn't that anything Cooper Jean didn't do very well at that nickel spot. But now we get to safety, which I had a hard time with this one. I kind of went back and forth on a lot of these guys. This was kind of one of the harder spots for me, but I went with Hufanga, to Talanoa Hufanga. He
Funga,
was,
yeah.
yes, my apologies. He was borderline a second team guy for me as well. He kind of went back. I kind of went back and forth. Derwin James could have been involved in either the first or the second team for me as well. But Kyle Hamilton, he was kind of solidified, bona fide first team guy for me for the safety spot. But that second spot, I really could have gone either way. But Zach Blaine, how about you, man? Who'd you have for the safety?
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton, unanimous. I don't think that was even like he was so far and above everyone else. I also had a hard time with my second one because I had Hufanga last week on my second team. I think he's good there. I struggled between Kevin Byard and Jalen Petrie here. Petrie ranked second in run defense grade per PFF at an 88.1 and led all safeties in combined pass breakups and interceptions. So I put Jalen Petrie because I feel like he made a bigger impact overall to the game than Kevin Byard did. But Kevin Byard, very, very close to making my list.
Yeah, 100%, man. The safety spot was also kind of similar to the inside linebacker. And they're the further away you get from the football, it's harder to kind of evaluate what they do because, if they have a good play, then you don't even see what they did. If they do their job right, then they're not going to get their name called out. And it's kind of similar for coverage spots and run fits, stuff like that. So, if you're typically hearing their name, unless they're getting an interception or a takeaway, it's probably not a good thing. This is a tough spot to evaluate. So is linebacker and corner, but safety and linebacker especially had a lot of guys that could have made these lists. But Mr. Tariq, anyone else that we could have missed or anyone else that you had on your first team?
I mean, Kyle Hamilton was, the obvious. I like Derwin James as well.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I gotta say, also one guy that kind of stood out to me was Antonio Johnson from the Jaguars.
Yeah, I had him on my second team last week. Yeah.
So I mean, maybe perhaps you could sneak him in. I mean, 5 interceptions, racked up a couple of sacks as well. So just wanted to give a little bit of love to those other teams out there. Or the Florida teams is what I meant.
There
So
you go.
yeah.
Antonio Johnson, kind of an unsung hero. You don't really hear his name a whole lot from a lot of voters, but I'm glad we got him in. And Derwin James has been, he's had a bit of an up and down career in some aspects, but when he's up, man, he's up. Like he's an outstanding safety if he's on the field, and they really utilized him in a really nice role. They kind of turned him more into a Jamal Adams type of player instead of just a pure coverage safety because he really gets down and dirty in the run game. And that's when he's really at his best. Almost kind of like a hybrid linebacker with Derwin James, but he's really outstanding. He had a great year. Big reason why the Chargers made the playoffs. He was one of the captains on that really good defense. So Derwin James, man, he's been an outstanding player. But that's kind of the end of our first team all RBLR show. But I wanted to give y'all a chance to have a Super Bowl pick before we log off, before we get off the show. So I think I know that we're all rooting for the Seahawks. Is that where our heads are at?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Every Super Bowl team I've picked has been eliminated the next week. So I would put my money on the Patriots if I'm picking the Seahawks, but I think the Seahawks are going to win.
Yes, I also think the Seahawks are going to win, but man, it would be like a very like times that we're in right now thing for the Patriots to win because they're the villains. Yeah, man. Yeah, it would suck, but I think the Seahawks win, but man, it would kind of gross me out if the Patriots won because
I think the Seahawks win, and I think the Seahawks win pretty easily.
Yeah, they're such a good team, man.
The Patriots have been so bad in the postseason. Like their defense is carrying them. Their offense has been so bad. A lot of like really low scoring games.
Yeah.
And I think that Seattle's going to come in there and just yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing because they've been playing good defenses. Like they've been playing great defenses, Denver and Houston. But Seattle's defense also a great defense. Like those are maybe the top 3 defenses in the NFL, and maybe the Patriots are 4th, or maybe they're in that conversation. But they're facing consecutive just like elite defenses. So yeah, it's not going to get any easier for Drake May, or as they call him, the schedule, which seems kind of like Matthew Statpad for kind of a harsh name, but also kind of funny. But Mr. Tree, do you also have the Seahawks winning this one?
Yeah, I got the Seahawks winning 31-21. I think the Seahawks kind of pull away a little bit in the fourth quarter, hold it down, secure that 10-point lead, kind of seal the deal with it, maybe a big defensive stop, something like that, get the young lad Drake May a little shook.
That's right. Yeah, man. He's he had a great year. But man, he has not looked super comfortable in these playoffs. It has not been a good showing for him. And I would hate to see what the MVP award voting would have been if they would have voted after the playoffs, or if they incorporated that into it. Because
I feel bad for the kid. He was, I believe, the most sacked quarterback in the league. Like, he's had that offensive line has not been great. It's impressive they got where they are, but I don't think it's even going to be a 10-point game. I think it's going to be like a 31-10, 34-17 type deal.
Man. Wow, all right, man. Really? I thought you were gonna drop like a UGA versus TCU kind of stuff.
No, I'm not that crazy. But I think it's going to be a pretty one-sided event.
I hope so, because man, it would be funny to watch the Patriots get trounced in the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
Patriots. But anyways, we're nearing the end of our episode. Hopefully y'all are tuning in. You aren't Patriots fans and getting offended by the end of this episode. But regardless, we hope you enjoyed it, even if that was the case. But hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. We'd really appreciate it. You can also give us a follow at RBLR Bucs or at RBLR Sports. We've got some great content coming across the platform. Like Musad said at the beginning of the show, we've got some great stuff on Tampa Bay sports. So definitely check us out. But until next time, and as always, go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.